All right, today we are going to talk about dot plots. Dot plots are super duper duper easy. Can everybody make a dot? So make a dot on your paper. So I know everybody can make a dot. Right? Pretty easy, right? Okay. So a dot plot is a visual meaning seeing, display in which each piece of data is represented by a dot above a number. Now, sometimes people may not use dots, they may use little figures like a stick person, or maybe they might want to use a circle or a box. It's just some kind of picture. Most of the time, a dot plot usually uses a dot. All right, so we're going to plot the following data in a dot plot. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a number line, okay? Whatever kind of number line I need. So looking at my data, I only need a number line from 6 to 18. If I needed it more and I needed to go from 0 to 18 or in the negatives, whatever the case may be, that's how I do my data. So I'm going to go through each number. 7, and I put a dot, and then I mark it off. 10, dot, mark it off. 11, 13, and it's very important that you mark it off as you put the dots so you don't put too many. Or not enough, for that matter. Y'all finish doing on the dot plot there. All right, and then the next thing I do after I do that, kind of like they told you how to do it when you did bar graphs, and writing the number is up above it. So how many times did 7 appear? 2. So I like to write the numbers up above it. Just like you do, that was a strategy that people told you to do when you did bar graphs. I do the same thing with dot plots. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, and 1. All right, so we kind of talked about what an outlier was, right? An extreme high or an extreme low was considered to be an outlier, correct? So an outlier is data that are either much greater or less than the other data. Looking at all of my data, is there an outlier in all my data? You're saying yes? What do you think? 18. Most of my data stays over here between 7 and 14, right? And then we have that one outlier that's kind of out there, that 18, right? It's much greater or less than the others. So that is going to be an example of my outlier. All right, so from this data, from this dot plot, I now can find the mean, the median, the range, the mode, if I wanted to, correct? All right, so when I go to find my mean, remember that's when we add all the numbers and we divide by the number of numbers. I don't add 6 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 18. I don't add those. I add my data numbers. So all of these numbers I add. Now, I don't normally teach this, but this is something that you can think about. If I have 7 and I have 2 sevens, what is that going to be? 14. If I have 9 and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 nines, what can I do? 4 times 9, right? Okay, so I want you to go ahead and add up all your numbers. Give you just a minute. So you can add it all up. Once you have the sum, I want you to put your head down.
Can we do the thing like this?
Mm-hmm. So again, I can add up each of these numbers in my data, or I can say 11 times 7, that's 77, plus 10 times 6, which is 60. You finished? Dane, what'd you get? Don't say it out loud. Just look at me. Put your mask down and just mouth it to me. Close. Not correct, though. All right, tell me some of the sums that you got. Raise your hand. Go for it. What'd you get? 289. Anybody get anything different? Everybody got 289? Perfect. That is what my sum is. So my sum is going to be 289. What am I going to divide it by? 2? All my number of values. How many number of values do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27? Perfect. So 289 divided by 27. I can't do that in my head. 27, 1, bring down my 9. Can't go in there. Add a decimal. It's gotta go in there. 7, 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Add another 0. 0. 27, 4, so it'd be 3, I think. 2, 6, 7, 8. So this is probably going to go on for a while, right? I'm going to go ahead and round. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So if I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, I'm going to underline my tenth value, circle my hundredth value. Does that 0 make that 7 go up or stay the same? So my mean will be 10.7, rounded to the nearest tenth. All right, so when finding the median, again, I'm not using these numbers down here. I'm using these numbers, correct? Now, when we find the median, remember we have to have them in order from least to greatest, right? Well, I kind of already have them all in least to greatest here, correct? They're just in dots. So I can use that to be able to find my median. And this is the way I do it. It says count the dots from left to right until you find the median value, and it can be 2. So what I do is I go, okay, I scratch one off the high, one low, high, 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 low. What is my middle number? 11. What?
That makes no sense.
So don't I go out this way and come in, right? If I were to write all of these numbers out, I would have 7, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, right? And I would continue on, right? That's a lot of numbers for me to have to write out, correct? So all I did was, just like I've done before with the bloop, 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 going from the largest and then keep going in, doing the same thing. Bam, bam, bam. I'm just going from my small in, correct? Now someone said, well, wouldn't it be 7? Are you looking at this number? Or where'd you get 7 at? You don't know? So I can't go like this because this is not, I have like 7 of these 11s or 6 of these 10s, correct? Right? All I'm doing is, instead of using my fingers to go bring it all the way in like we did before, now I'm going, okay, I've got a high one and a low one. A high one and a low one. So that's kind of like bringing my fingers in to cover up next to, and the next two, and the next two, all the way to only having one in the middle. Okay? So my median, so we said this was 10.7. So my median, what was my median? 11. And then my range, how do I find the range? Subtract my highest, which is going to be 18. Subtract my lowest, which will be 7. And I'm going to get 11. So my range for this would be 11. What would my mode be? 11. Good. All right, flip it over. All right, it says the dot plot shows the number of checker games won by each of the 20 students in the competition. Number of checker games won. So there was 3. I'm going to do my numbers up here. 3 that didn't win any games. That's probably me. 2 people won 1 game. Nobody won 2 games. 3 people won 3 games. 3 won 4. 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. All right. Which statement about the data is true? The median is 5 and the interquartile range is 4. Well, we haven't talked about what an interquartile range is. It was on the benchmark, but we haven't talked about it yet. We're actually going to be talking about that this week. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and at least eliminate knowing what a median is. We know the median, right? Which is what? What does median mean? The middle number, okay. So let's go and figure out the middle number. I'm going to let you figure out the middle number for just a second. So we know we have 20 numbers. So that's an even number. How many are we going to have in the middle? 2. So what do we do when we have 2 numbers in the middle? Add them and divide by 2. All right, let's go ahead and do this together. I'm going to find that median. So large, small, 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 large, small. I have 2 numbers in the middle. My median is going to be what? 4. So that eliminates A and C, correct? Now, since I haven't taught you interquartile range, I'm going to tell you what the answer is. Because here it says the interquartile range is 5, interquartile range is 10. And again, I know that it's not going to make any sense, but the interquartile range is your median of the upper middle and the middle of the lower middle subtracted together, which is going to give you 5. But don't worry about understanding that right now. So the correct answer is B. My big thing on this one is that you found out what the median was. All right, number 2. It says the dot plot shows the number of goals a soccer team scored in 10 games last season. So I've got 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. Okay. Which statement best describes the data in the dot plot? All right, we've got the peak of the data is at 5. Peak, what do you think that means? The highest. Is it at 5? It is? No, think about a mountain peak, right? Does this look like this data peaks, gets the highest right here, and then goes down? So no. The data is clustered from 0 to 2. All right. Not really sure. I'm going to put a question mark on that. Come back to it. The data distribution has no gaps. It does have some gaps. 3 and 4 have nothing, right? So it does have some gaps. Data distribution is symmetrical. What does symmetrical mean? Means that if I cut right down the middle, it's about the same on both sides. If I cut this right down the middle, is it going to be the same on both sides? All right, so let's talk about clustered. Even if I haven't really, let's do some English decoding. If I said, hey, everybody is clustered around my desk, what does that mean? Everybody's around my desk, right? There's a bunch of people around my desk, right? Same thing goes when we cluster in graphs. It says the data is clustered. Most of the data is between 0 and 2. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be 4 to 6.
Right, it wouldn't be 4 to 6 or even 4 and 5, right? All right, let's get this glued into your journal. Dot plots are really easy. I like dot plots.